Welcome to the Register's Report. My name is John Buckley. I'm the Register of Deeds of Plymouth County, and this show is about Plymouth County real estate. Our headline for the month is Encouraging Signs for the Real Estate Market Despite Leveling Off of Sales. And this is a show we're going to talk about some of the numbers for May. The show is taped in June. I have a great guest in the second segment, Barry Hurst of Coldwell Banker, discussing what's going on in the real estate market. And of course, we always talk about some of our Plymouth County history. Now, I'm going to show you a bar chart of sales for the month of May. It's the highest number of sales since October of last year. There were 966 deeds recorded in May, more than the 733 in April. However, down 1% from last May, and for the first 5 months of the year, is pretty stable with last year. Mortgages are a little different story. Mortgages were the highest number since December. However, a lot of people have stopped refinancing. There were 1,735 mortgages recorded in May, more than the 1,451 in April, down 7% compared to last May, and with 5 months of data in, we're down 6% from last year. When the rates went up, a lot of people stopped refinancing, and clearly there was a run on refinancing when people were taking advantage of low interest rates. And the low interest rates are still very, very low. It's mostly mortgages for purchase of property that's coming in. We always talk about foreclosures. We've gone through some difficult times in foreclosures in Plymouth County and across Massachusetts. There were 48 foreclosure deeds in May, more than the 39 in April, 2% less than last May. However, through the first 5 months of the year, 18% lower than last year. In foreclosure notices, which is the first document we see at the registry that shows someone's in trouble, there were 85 foreclosure notices recorded in May, slightly more than the 84 in April, 10% more than last year, and many lenders are getting caught up with properties who have been delinquent for some time. If for some reason you've had that difficulty, please reach out to a federal housing counselor as soon as you can. The faster you do that, the more likely you'll get help with a modification. The next and last image is an image of foreclosures and notices for all of the 27 communities in Plymouth County, from Abington to Whitman. Now, Brockton, Plymouth, and Wareham have been those communities most beset by foreclosures, but they hit everybody. So our next training room opportunity, a free opportunity to come to the registry for online training, is Thursday, July 12th. It's a 2-hour training program. Call in advance, space is limited, 508-830-9290. If you go to our website, you can get a free property fraud alert. And my next segment is a guest who's involved in the real estate community, Barry Hurst of Coldwell Banker, who'll talk about the realtor's role in the real estate market and what's happening out there right now from his perspective. We'll see you in the next segment.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can
get someone the cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates, our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can.
Intervene.
It's on us.
all of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
So welcome back to the Register's Report. Again, my name is John Buckley. I'm the Register of Deeds of Plymouth County. In this segment of the show, we always try to do something educational in nature. We've had commercial lenders, we've had regular residential lenders, we've had assessors, we've had surveyors, and above all else, we've had a number of realtors, because realtors are the people that keep the flow of real estate moving. I have a great guest today, Barry Hurst. Barry, welcome.
Thank you, John. I appreciate you having me here.
And Barry is with Caldwell Banker.
Correct. Yep.
Do you want to tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and how
Sure.
you got in the real estate business?
Oh, yeah. I've been doing it for, come July, it will be 32 years. I was with Remax for 27, one of their top producers and member of the Hall of Fame and Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah.
After 27 years, and I don't like change, so I never wanted to leave, but when they changed their name and they changed their concept, I ended up moving on, and Caldwell Banker has been trying to get me for a while, and I ended up joining them, and I'm very happy I did. They do a lot for the consumer and for the customers, and it's just a great office and a great fit.
So I'm going to ask you a couple times to give out your contact information for our viewers watching you.
The best way to reach me is by cell at 508-272-4647, and you can call me anytime. I always answer my phone, even when I'm on vacation. My wife don't like it, but hey, you know, it's what I do.
So when you talk about that number of years in the business, you've certainly seen a lot of changes in technology. It's amazing to me how far the realtors are ahead of government in terms of the cell phones and the tablets and how fast the P&S goes back and forth now.
It's just amazing how the technology, I was trying to fight it at the beginning, you know, when we're going to go to computers instead of having the books. Because I like the books when you got the listings, they'd come out every 2 weeks and everything, and I do the expired listings, and no one else did it because you had to do a lot of manual work and everything. Now they get a printout that shows all the listings that expire, so you don't have to do anything anymore. So I had less competition back then, but you know, it's just a lot, and the consumers have so much, you know, access to properties and everything. So, but they still need our help and everything to protect
so
them.
that's an issue that I hear regularly. That the buyers and sellers are more educated because there's so much available online.
They are, but they still need the realtors because they can save them a lot of money. And you know, like I said, doing it 32 years. I have a lot of skill in negotiating and everything and can save the people a lot of money.
So how's the real estate market been from your perspective so far this year?
Oh, it's great. It's unbelievable. That's why I do a lot of prospecting, trying to make calls, trying to get listings. A lot of people want to sell their house, but they want to find something first, and there's just not a lot of inventory out there. I have someone right now who wants to put their house on the market, but they want to find something first. So I found a couple of listings today that I just dropped off at their house and want to show it to them. And then I know when I get their house on the market, which is also in Brockton, it's going to go really quick and for a good price.
Yeah, I constantly hear that inventory is a big impediment right now.
Yeah, it's very low. When you get a listing, and that's why I try to tell buyers right now, it's the hardest time to buy because there's not a lot of properties out there. You're probably going to miss out on a few. You're going to have to go over asking price. You're going to have to do a lot of other incentive things. I had a listing that I put on. We had multiple offers on it, and the reason why they took one of the other offers, they were pretty similar, was that they waived the home inspection. Because usually what people do sometimes when they're bidding, they'll go way over, but then they'll come back to you at the home inspection and say, oh, we want this, this, and that, because they've already got it under hold right now. You know, so I got to, you know, let my sellers know that and everything. But
so what percentage of your prospective buyers come in pre-approved?
they're all.
Yeah.
Yeah, because no realtors, and that's what when I have a seller that goes, I want only pre-approved buyers here. I said, oh, don't worry. I said, we don't want to waste our time taking people around if they're not qualified. Yeah. They got to be qualified, you know, financially and also motivationally. Like I'll ask someone, how long you been looking? If they say, oh, 2-3 years, and I'll say, oh, okay. That tells me that they're not really motivated, you know, because you got to have that or it's not going to work out for anybody.
So what is the area you cover, Barry?
I specialize in expired listings, listings that have been on the market with other agents that couldn't do anything with it. I take them over and I've sold a lot of them. I do a lot of areas. I've sold in Natick, Lakeville, Middleborough, all over the place. It doesn't matter. Right now, in this day and age, you can't be picky. I used to just do Brockton, and I used to sell like 45 houses a year. It was unbelievable, you know. But then when the market started getting tougher and, you know, there was a lot of competition and everything, and you just got to move to wherever you got to do, you know, and that's what I do. I'll call anywhere. I don't mind. I do a lot of cold calling, you know, trying to get listings.
Any other tips to buyers in this Tough marketplace?
No, just make sure they have a realtor that's
Yeah.
going to be, helping them all the time and, giving them listings, and anytime they need access to them, to give them a call and get them in there ASAP. And if they do get in there ASAP, if they really like it, they better put their best foot forward or they're going to lose out on it, because there's a lot of properties out there, but, they're getting multiple offers on it. So you got to really, be on the ball.
So you also represent sellers. Mm-hmm. And how is it right now for sellers? You said there's a difficulty sometimes in finding a house, and that's depressed the market a little bit, you think?
Yeah, because when I do call up on the expired listings, they say, oh, we could have sold our house, but we just couldn't find anything. That's why we took it off after that. I'm like, oh, no, I can appreciate that, but you got to be on the market and have your house under agreement. That way you can be choosy and you can pick what you want to, put offers in on and everything. And if you have your house under agreement, that gets a better chance to get an offer accepted. I had these people in Weymouth that I put their house under agreement, and they were looking to buy a property, and I had them put in offers on 3 different properties. They went over asking price, but they lost out on it, not because they weren't qualified. Other people didn't have any contingencies, and the contingency I had with them selling their house, it was already under agreement. They already had the home inspection. They already had the appraisal. Wow. Everything was all set.
Wow.
But when you got another offer that's similar, that don't have to sell a house,
right.
Then they end up missing out on 3 of them. But then I finally got them on the 4th one to put something under agreement, which they were happy about and everything.
Good. So any particular tips to sellers, quick ways to fix their house up, things you might want to do to prepare their property before you put it in the market, before you show it?
Just, make sure that there's no clutter and you got everything away and everything, and anything that you can see with your visual eye that's obvious, make sure you take care of that. If there's any leaks in the ceiling, like any stains or anything, get rid of that, because, when the buyers are going through the house, they're looking at it really close and, they're ready to deduct all kinds of money for things that they see.
Right.
So anything that's obvious, just get rid of and everything, and make sure you scrape the deck if it needs scraping, paint, little things like that.
Staging, basically.
Yeah.
Anything about landscaping?
And even in this market right now, your house doesn't even have to be perfect and everything else, because you're going to get the activity no matter what. Even if you put a listing on that had 1 picture, okay, you're going to get multiple people in there, and people who have to find a house that already have their house under agreement with other people with different motivations. So they're going to be not that choosy. They're going to go in and, okay, I like it, and put an offer in, and then you'll have multiple offers, and then you can see which one's the strongest, and that's what I recommend, definitely.
So let's talk about first-time buyers, because that is something that always has caught my eye as register to encourage homeowners, and clearly the percent of ownership has dropped over the years, and there's a lot of reasons for that, but let's talk about ways to help first-time home buyers.
Yeah, well, a lot of them, the millennials and everything, they don't even answer the phone. They don't even use their phone as far as, calling and everything. You text them and everything.
Yeah.
And they're so up to date on everything, and they got the different programs like for the FHA and VA, and
Mass Housing has some good programs.
And there's some excellent programs that make them qualify, because it's hard to qualify right now because of some of the guidelines and everything. But there's a lot of different programs out there. Like you said, Mass Housing's probably one of the best to get you into your first house and get you equity and get you in the habit of knowing what to do, making your payments, keeping the house up, and so on and so forth.
So other than the barriers you mentioned of inventory and things like that, any warning signs going forward into the next number of summer months,
Not really. You get a house right now, there's so many buyers out there right now, and there's still not enough inventory. I see every listing that's coming on, they have a lot of people that put coming soon, and you got loads of people that are just waiting and watching the MLS every single day, and any listing that comes out, you're getting multiple showings, you're getting the offers on it, and I don't see any slowdown right now for the next couple of months. I think it's going to be hot, and any listing that gets out there is going to probably keep getting overbid and have multiple offers.
So what do you advise buyers once they see a house they like relative to home inspections?
Home inspection, I'd never say to waive an inspection, even though my seller took one that they waived it. The guy was handy, and he didn't have to worry about things like that. He could do anything, and that's why he waived it. But I would say never waive a home inspection, even on a new house. Make sure you take that, because that will be something you'll regret for the rest of your life.
Now, are you allowed to refer people to home inspectors?
We usually give them like 3 or 4,
Okay. Good.
But we can't just say one person or anything. And, if they'll ask me, if I hadn't, because I've dealt with practically everyone, and there's a lot of good companies out there, and, I'd give them my best expertise about everything,
So one of the things we have to do in our role as register is estimate your income over the fiscal year. And that's depending upon how the market is going to do, as far as the numbers we bring in from recording fees and deeds excise. How do you see things going once we get into the fall?
I don't see any slowdown right now. I really don't. I think everything's going well, and I think you'll see people who are going to take the summer off and everything and go on their vacations, and then people who are thinking about selling and moving on. I think a lot of people want to go to, the South too, because of the cost of living. I've heard a lot of people say they want to go to South Carolina, North Carolina. Matter of fact, I should be listing a house in Brockton. A person I sold a house to 30 years ago that's going to be putting their house on the market. They already have a house under agreement in North Carolina, and they told me it's beautiful and had pools and big yard for a lot, cheap money.
Sure.
Everything. And they haven't
Definitely the
built,
cost of housing is going up.
And the cost of living in
Yeah.
these certain places
Yeah.
are attractive for people that are getting up there in age and want to
Right.
retire and not have
Yeah,
to
and
worry about
the
it.
weather around here is not
My
dependable.
wife and I have been thinking about it.
Sure.
Yeah. It's something that we may do.
Yeah.
She still looks online all the time about all the houses
Yeah.
and everything. But
Any thing you want to add, little stories of warning signs that people to be aware of that you've come across in the last few years, that people should be cautious of?
Well, I know sometimes there's been a lot of problems, and it's been going on, at my office too. I can see, when a new listing comes on the market, they're being cloned by people that are out of the country, and what they're doing is they're saying they're going to be for rental, and they make it too good to be true. They say, oh, okay, and then they say, just send us the check, we'll send you the keys, so on and so forth. Had that happen so many times.
Really?
And what was happening is once a listing got in there, they automatically cloned it as a rental.
Okay.
And I had the Quincy police, because I had one in Quincy. They
Really?
came to
I
me
haven't
and
heard
told-
that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my. And it was just happening again at my office. There was a couple
Well,
of
there's a good
complaints.
side of the internet and there's a dark side
There is.
of the internet.
Yeah, and that's what people have to watch out for. If it sounds
So
too
there are
good to be
people
true,
sitting somewhere at a computer that's gaming the system, trying to trick people.
right? And it works because if they send something out to 2,000 people and one person,
Sends a rental check?
right, that's 1,300.
Wow.
If they do that every day and get
Wow.
at least one, but they're getting a lot
I
more
haven't
return.
I haven't heard that story.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
going on even when I was at Remax.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Right.
But it was just happening automatically. So they have this technology where they can just do that. Because no sooner put the listing in and then somebody's calling me to rent it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's how you can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've become adept with the new technology?
Yeah, I try to. I wanted to stay with the pages and everything and the
Right.
older phones, but hey, you can't fight technology. You got to do it.
Yeah,
I move a little slower than everyone else, but I finally do adapt.
One of the things with our system is it's not really compatible with a tablet or an iPhone to search.
Yeah.
And I know realtors on the spot
yeah,
want to do that,
right.
so we're looking at making some changes.
Oh,
with
that would be good. That would be a real
Yeah,
good
yeah.
investment, definitely.
And,
Come in handy.
I actually, one of my cousins was buying a house, and I, volunteered to help them out, just because I wanted to see all the new forms and all the new processes and all the new techniques. And from your side
Yeah.
of things, I know our side, and follow that very, very closely. But your side of things, from when I was doing that type of work as a private attorney, it's changed significantly.
All the paperwork and everything, the
Right.
redundancy on the paperwork, you
Right.
know, it's just, yeah. And at my office, when I left REMAC, we have so much paperwork that we have to fill out. It's a
Right.
lot of disclosures because Caldwell Banker owns a lot of things. They own mortgage companies, they own, you know, title companies, and a lot of different things. So we got to disclose everything, and there's so much paperwork, like you said.
Well, I got a signal that we're coming to a close.
Oh, great.
I'll give you one last time to tell your viewers some words of wisdom in the housing market right now.
Yeah, if you see something you like, put your best foot forward if you want that house, and, you know, hopefully you'll get it.
In your contact information, again, the best way?
Yeah, the
for
best
people
way to reach
you?
me is on my cell at 508-272-4647, and you can call me anytime. If you have any questions about anything, I don't mind. I love working with people, so.
Oh, great. It's always good to see you.
Always great
Yeah.
to see you. Tell the
Okay.
family I said hello, and
Thank you. Yeah,
thank you for having me.
I'll see you coming in the door of the registry
Huh?
soon enough.
Oh, yeah, you will,
okay.
definitely.
Thanks, Barry.
Thank you.
Great. That's it.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Thank you to Barry Hurst of Caldwell Banker. He did a great job. It was his first time in the show, but you wouldn't know it. He shared a lot of good information and certainly was spot on with what's happening in the real estate market, particularly when the inventory is so low and affects everything along the line. In this segment of the show, we always try to do something lighter in nature. Our holidays for the month of June, our Flag Day on the 14th, Father's Day on the 17th, and the official beginning of summer on the 21st, the summer solstice. From our notable land records collection, as we get into the summer, we're going to talk about 3 of our great lighthouses in and around Plymouth County. The first one is Situate Lighthouse. It's right at the point of entry to Situate Harbor. It's a very historic lighthouse. During the War of 1812, the lighthouse keeper's daughters, Abigail and Rebecca Bates, were out one day in the yard, and they saw a British frigate trying to get into Plymouth Harbor. They became alarmed, gathered a lot of the people left in town, and pretended to be a group of Revolutionary War soldiers mustering. They made the noise, they played the fife and drum, and thankfully for the town of Situate, the British frigate turned around and left. They're known as the Army of Two, Abigail and Rebecca Bates, and it was said that on some days when you're out there on a dark and windy night, you can still hear the sound of the fife and drum. Beautiful spot on Situate Harbor. The next lighthouse we're going to talk about is the lighthouse that leads into Plymouth Harbor. It's known as Plymouth Light. It's on Gurnet Point, so some people refer to it as Gurnet Light. It was originally Twin Lights, and it is the site of the first female lighthouse keeper in America. The Gurnet Lighthouse was built after authorized by the legislature way back in 1768. The first lighthouse was a wooden dwelling, and when that burnt down, they built the single light that is there now. The lighthouse keeper during those days was a man named John Thomas, who had often fought in the Revolutionary War, and he was killed in action. His wife, Hannah Thomas, was named again as the first female lighthouse keeper in America, and she worked there for many time, and her son later sold the lighthouse to the United States government and is presently cared for by Project Gurnet in Bug Light. Our last lighthouse of the day is Minot's Ledge Light. It is off of Situate. It was constructed in 1860, 1 mile offshore from Situate, after the first lighthouse was washed away in a storm. The second was constructed and still stands today. Before the lighthouse was completed, there were many shipwrecks at the time between 1832 and 1841, and many lives were lost. There was a flashing pattern that was added to that lighthouse. It's a 143 flash, and basically in Morse code, it signals "I love you," hence the name Lover's Light. It's built on Minot's Ledge and is now in private ownership. So I want to thank Mike Simmons and Aaron Tebold for helping me with this show. Lorna Green Baker and Christine Richards, my office, also helped me put this together. We tape this show here in Brockton and share it with local providers throughout Plymouth County so that people know what's happening in the real estate market, because for most people, their home is their most valuable asset. I hope you have a great start to the summer. Have a happy 4th of July, and we'll see you next month. Thank you.